What is your position on Meek Mill and the hailstorm of, in my eyes, unnecessary controversy that he's kind of been dealing with the last couple of months by being thrown in this whole Diddy storyline? What's your perspective on that?
I'm gonna say first, start off. Meek has been a big supporter of mine over the years. Even though he's younger than me, we come from the same circumstances. We come from Philly, which is a competitive city. So I watched his whole glow up. So I never had nothing bad to say about Meek Mill's. One, he's not in my graduating class. He's kind of like younger than me, so he's in a younger graduating class.
10 years after you.
Boom. So I was already on before he got on. So it's nothing that I never felt no way. You know, he gets that kind of, he didn't do anything for this person or this person. I never felt like he owed me anything because we just wasn't in the same realm as far as age-wise. So it's always been a mutual respect as an MC. With all, to answer your question, we just got to see how it play out. I don't really like it because, I'm real geographical. Anything coming from Philly, I try to defend it as much as possible because that's my state. That's just what we do. From the Eagles to the Sixers to the Flyers to the Phillies, to Beanie Siegel, to Lil Uzi, to P&B, to Meek Mills, to Bill Cosby, Patti LaBelle, Music the Soul Child, Jill Scott, Gilly Wallow. I'm Philly all day, and I'm just going to stand by my city, good, bad, or indifferent.
Because Philly could not be a huge factor in the conversation about rap because there's other cities that are not so far away from New York City. Listen, I'm from a suburb of Boston. Boston's trajectory. Yeah, I love it. But I mean, hip hop wise, it's kind of astonishing how few rappers have really come up out of Boston. Meanwhile, Philly, it might have been a little bit slower to get going than New York, but definitely like there's a very intense lineage of talent over the years. And
Philly has always been in the shadow of New York. We just going to keep it a stack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we always had our individualism, and we always notice over the course of maybe a decade plus, every fashion of some type of form of success of a big label has had a Philly artist.
Yes.
Cash Money, Gilly, Rockefeller, the whole state property, Rough Riders, Eve, Uzi, P&B Rock, motherfucking Game had Cicero. Like, you need a Philly guy on your fucking team.
I like that.
That's just what it's always been, and we always stood on business, and we was always honorable and sturdy, and we always had that no nonsense mentality about a Philadelphian or a Philadelphia artist, even Uzi.
Even those conversations I was having with Skrilla and Duel and shit, they were basically saying, we don't respect the crab in a barrel mentality that would cause people to want to just write Meek off so eagerly when he did so much for the city and put on for the city so much.
People gonna always have that kind of idea of somebody that didn't do anything for them. But real men, we don't really float on those vibes. You do what you can for those that you can touch. First and foremost, you got to take care of your family, and anything extra after that, if you can extend your hand, you can. But nobody owe nobody nothing. And I'm not trying to be PC. I'm just coming from the things that I've seen and the experience that I've, shit. We all got the same 24 hours, Adam. I mean, yeah, Meek is doing this thing, but he's not. We all have boundaries and limitations. You can't stop a cold. You can't stop the flu. When it's happening, it's going to happen. I don't give a fuck how many millions you got in your account. When you get cold, you're out of commission for those days. No matter money can get you out of that. It has to take its course. Same thing with Meek Mills and Diddy. It just has to take its course.
This is true. Meek will be exonerated in the end because the evidence against him, or the evidence of him being on some weird shit, is so bad. And I feel like the people at some point are going to have a reckoning of being like, shit, we really came up with a whole catchphrase trying to go in on homie.
But like 5 years ago, were we seeing this coming? No,
for sure. You mentioned Gilly, and he's obviously like someone who musically, his career didn't exactly explode the way that it was supposed to at a certain point back in the day, but now he's managed to find a huge amount of success with the podcasting and everything. Has that been inspirational to see that coming together for him?
Give hope to niggas like me that's, getting up in age and still, haven't lost the spark, the flair to create content, whether it be musically, podcasts, or whatever forms of entertainment or media. And just to see him at this age still be successful and relevant after all the false starts that he had, that the people would depict would be false starts, because we never know what he personally went through. But to be celebrated at this point in his career is beautiful, and it gives me more life to keep going and doing the things. Griselda, those guys, Benny, Conway, Westside, for those guys to be at that age and still being high-level MCs and doing tours and shit like that. Those are my guys. Benny is on my album also. We got a song called Trifecta. So any guy that's been around early 2000s or never got their shot and still going hard at it, still beating the pavement, still pressing up merch, still putting out projects, still touring, doing shows, spot dates, being able to be, you know what I mean, touched by their fans, that's who I champion. That's what I herald myself after.
100%.